Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you who are new here, hi, I'm Amy. Today I am shipping out my sales from over the weekend. It is Monday, August 12th, and I have a super exciting sale to share with you. A couple of not so exciting sales, but I can't wait to tell you about one of the items that I sold. Okay, so these first items sold in a bundle on Poshmark. The bundle sold for $90. And the first item in the bundle is this gorgeous, abalone shell pendant necklace. I just loved the iridescent quality, and it is on a 14 karat gold filled chain necklace. I had this one piece listed for $89. The other two pieces that the buyer selected were lower dollar pieces, and I only paid $1 each for all of these items. So my total cost of goods was only $3 on this $90 bundle sale. So I was happy to accept her offer. The next item is this cute green iridescent beaded bracelet. I have had this forever and a day. That was the other reason that I happily accepted her offer, because I had this a really long time and I didn't really feel like it was a super valuable piece. The last item is this really cute little vintage coin purse. And as you can tell, if I didn't already say it, this buyer clearly likes iridescent things because it has these little iridescent rhinestones. And let's see, can you see that little rose detail? This is just a really sweet little piece. I've had this for a really long time, but I hadn't listed it because I just didn't know if it was really a standalone piece. But then I decided to get it listed, and I'm glad I did, because like I said, the bundle sold for $90. I paid $1 a piece. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $69. So the abalone necklace I got at a thrift store, and the two other items I got at yard sales. That's how I was able to get, it was a very small town thrift store, to get an item for $1. But I love going to small town thrift stores, and if you have small towns near you that you can drive to, I highly recommend that you go through those teeny tiny towns and look for charity thrift stores, because a lot of times you can find really great prices. And then also yard sales. I'm not sure about everyone's area, but I know here in the Pacific Northwest, if you go to yard sales, you can get really great deals. Okay, the next item, kind of an odd item. It's a vintage t-shirt. And as you can see here, it's from, what is that? Tumalo, Oregon, and it's some sort of reunion or something. I randomly picked this up at estate sale, and it did have some faint little spots on it, and I almost didn't list it, but I took my own advice and still listed it, even though it had those flaws. And it sold, I think it's only been listed like 2 or 3 weeks. It only sold for $20, but I only paid $1 for it. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $15. Pretty quick, easy listing. Oh, I did want to mention, I am by no means a t-shirt expert, vintage t-shirt expert, but I do know that it is important to put the brand name of the t-shirt in the title. So I put, information like Jerseys, which is the brand name for that type of t-shirt, and then I put that city, and then I put that it was a reunion. Also, that type of shirt with the trim is called a ringer tee, so I put that specific ringer tee. And I also always spell t-shirt, I'll do TEE, and then I'll just do the letter T and shirt. And I do that because I assume that different people search for t-shirts different ways. So did I already say my profit was $15 on that? Okay, are you ready, you guys? Now for the really exciting sale. It sold on Chairish, and it is a vintage Hollywood Regency sofa that I have had for over 3 years. So I realized that this probably isn't a realistic item for many people to pick up and hang on to for 3 years. And ideally, I definitely don't want to be hanging on to things for 3 years. But I have the space and patience to wait for a good price. And I will put video or pictures in here so you can see the sofa. It sold for $1,894. I'm so excited. Although I am trying not to be totally excited because you don't get paid until the item is delivered, and this will be going, what do they call it? Less than a truckload, white glove. So it is just an individual that comes and picks it up and drives it across the country. It isn't going via UPS or FedEx or anything like that. So it could take 8 to 10 weeks for it to be delivered before I get my money. Occasionally when I have had furniture sales on Chairish, they have gotten canceled. And so I just try not to fully celebrate until I have the cash in my hands. But I'm going to be excited about it because it is a great sale. I paid $250 for this sofa at an estate sale. So after Chairish's fee and my cost of goods, that made my profit $1,227.32 on one item. I'm so excited. Yes, I did have to store it and wait, do all the things to get that large profit, but I am going to celebrate regardless of that. So, you know, I don't have big sales like this all the time, but I do like to dabble in furniture pieces to lift my sales up a few times a year. And also, as you saw, I only have these 2 sales on Poshmark over the weekend. So that really isn't very good, and I feel great that I had this sale on Chairish. I had just reduced this item. I originally had it listed for $26.95, and then I think I reduced it to $24.95 or something like that. And then I had reduced it to $2,095 or $22.95, I can't really remember, and the buyer offered me this $18.94. Seems like kind of an odd offer amount, but I'm wondering if it made, like, if she offered that amount plus whatever the shipping was, it would have equaled what I was originally asking. So it was like getting free shipping. That's the only thing I can think of. But Chairish does thoroughly verify their buyers and their buyer's payment prior to telling you that your item sold. So a couple of weeks ago, I had, or last week maybe, I had this cute little pair of white owls that sold, and I didn't get a shipping label right away. So I emailed Chairish support on those, and they said that there was suspicion that it was a fraudulent purchase. And so they needed to verify it with the buyer before they sent me a shipping label. And that took a couple of days, and they were able to verify it with the buyer. But everything is so if someone makes an offer on Chairish, their card is pre-authorized or charged for the amount of the offer, including tax and shipping. So it's not like eBay where someone can make an offer and pay later. It is, you know, it's charged to their card. But they can cancel the purchase prior to it being shipped. Once it is shipped, they cannot cancel. And pretty much with furniture, all sales are considered final unless the item is grossly misrepresented or, you know, you're not honest in your description. I am always as thorough as possible in my descriptions, and I try to show every little nook and cranny that I can and describe everything. This, this couch is probably 60 or 70 years old. It is in beautiful condition for that time period, but it is not perfect, and I do not portray that it is perfect. So I'm so excited. Fingers crossed that all goes through, because that would be really great. Like I've mentioned in my previous videos, we're hoping to take some other big trips as celebration for our 20-year wedding anniversary, and if this comes through, that'll just be, another thing that we might be able to do. Okay, well, don't go anywhere. This video will continue with everything else that I share, that I sell this week. And as always, I so appreciate it if you guys hit that subscribe button, give my videos a thumbs up, and make comments. All those things really help me out. All right, I'll be right back. Hey again, it's Thursday. Unfortunately, it's been a pretty slow week, but I didn't have any sales Monday afternoon, Tuesday, or Wednesday morning, but in the last about 24 hours, I've had 4 sales, and a couple of them are pretty good. So I am just going to be happy about that. The first item that sold is this really great vintage sterling silver bracelet. This is a really heavy, thick, nice quality bracelet, solid sterling silver, and it does have some maker's marks that look to be that it was made in Tasco, Mexico, and there is a artist, well, let's see, no, there is a number on there. I'm not sure who the artist or designer of this piece was. I just had it priced higher because it is so heavy and nice quality. It ended up selling for $103. I am really thrilled with that. Unfortunately, I don't have the right size box for this, so I am just wrapping it in tissue paper, or bubble wrap and tissue paper. I paid $8 for this at an estate sale. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $74.40. I'm really excited about that. This did take quite some time to sell. I'm not exactly sure how long, but definitely over a year. But for a $74 profit, I am just fine waiting for something that is this size. I'm going to add a little bit of ribbon too. I don't always add ribbon anymore. It kind of just depends on the price or style of the item. And for repeat customers, I typically do add a little bit more zhuzh to the package. Oh, I forgot to get, dang it, I forgot to get boxes ready. Oh well, I will just set things to the side. Okay, so the next item that sold is this vintage Austrian dress, and this has kind of a ditzy floral print to it, has some cool buttons, and here is the label for that. Now, some of these vintage Austrian dresses can sell for pretty substantial prices. This one ended up selling for $40. It did have a few flaws, although still wearable. It was missing the top button, and it looked like at one point there was probably a belt that would have been with this, and there was no belt. And I'm not sure what else, but I think possibly there was something else. So I did have it priced higher, but considering the flaws, after this buyer offered me $40, I just decided to go ahead and accept that, because it had been, I'd had it a really long time. It was in my death pile for, I don't even want to say how long, because there was a button missing from the lower area. So I took off the top button and moved it down so that the missing button was at the top. I just think people would kind of prefer that. That way, if they want to put a different button at the top or just have no button up there, I feel like it's more wearable that way. So anyways, it was in my death pile because I needed to move that button. And then I think it's probably been listed, I don't know, 6 months to a year now. So I just said, okay, I'll take the 40. I paid $5 for it. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $27. I think that is just fine, and I was ready to move it out. This is another piece that has been listed a really long time, and I thought this was really fun and cool when I got it, mainly because it had this embroidered like eagle thunderbird on the back. And it did also have a fun handmade tag in there. This is all handmade. And this got a lot of likes and interest over time, but just no real offers. So this buyer offered me $22 and I said, okay, it's yours. It had just been listed for too long, probably 2 or 3 years. I paid $3 for it. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $14.60. That's just fine. This really needed to get moved out and sold. Although it was probably one of a kind and unique, I think it's really more of a costume type piece, and you know, or a very specific person. So that is just fine that it is gone now. Okay, the next sale is another pretty great sale. Let's see here. So I'm going to bring this paper up because these are jute, or are they jute? Placemats, and they might shed. So it's a set of 6 of these really fun boho vintage placemats. I thought these were really cool. Let's see. Vintage 1960s coiled jute placemats. Boho chic natural fiber table mats, set of 6. Boy, I'm tongue-tied today, I guess. So these sold for $115 plus a $6 packaging fee, so a total of $121. I'm thrilled with that. I paid $8 for these, so after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $87.48. I am absolutely thrilled with that. These took over a year, or about a year, to sell. So as I've mentioned before, a lot of times things can take time to sell for high prices on Chairish, but I am fortunate to have the room to store things. And I have continued to do price reductions on old inventory on Chairish, and that really seems to be making the algorithm happy. So I'm having some more sales on there, which makes me happy because I have a lot of stuff to move out. Okay, so like I said, it hasn't been the greatest week, but so far I'm happy, especially with that sofa sale. Sorry, I'm not sure what happened. My phone turned off, but what I was saying is that the pickup hadn't been scheduled yet, so fingers crossed that it all goes through, because I could really use that good sale. Okay, so don't go anywhere. I will be back to share what else I sell this week. Thanks so much for watching. Hey again, it's Saturday and I have 2 more things to ship out. Posh was just not very good for me this week. Thank goodness I had that big sale on Chairish. Oh, and I was messing with the camera settings on my phone again, and I realized in the last clip I had somehow flipped the background again, so I'm sorry for that. I'm just not that technically savvy, to be honest with you, and I need to work on that. But the first item that sold is this really cool pair of earrings. These are again by Carolyn Pollock. They're sterling silver with some red coral inserts. And this particular style seemed to have really high resale values. So I listed these, I think I had them listed at $129, and I got an offer for $96, and I think it was to one of you guys actually. So thank you so much, Lori. If you are a viewer and subscriber, I really appreciate that reasonable offer, and I hope you love these earrings. I thought they were really cool. So this is another item from that $890 estate sale haul. So I only paid $3 for these earrings. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $73.80. Of course, I am so thrilled with that. I just cannot believe it. It just continues to surprise me. And I was going through some stuff yesterday, and I realized that there is even more jewelry to list. I already knew that, but I had forgotten. So okay, the next item that sold is this pair of Lululemon leggings, and they're this kind of cloud print. I did look up the style name based on, I found the dot and the information, but these were in excellent condition with the tag, and everything was still crispy. You know, I am being very particular with my Lululemon pieces that I pick up now because it's just not as hot and trendy as it used to be, and I just can't really seem to sell it very quickly or for super high prices. So these ended up selling for $39, which I think is just fine. I paid $5 for them at our Goodwill. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $24.18. I think that's just fine. And I can't remember how long I have had these listed, but I think somewhere around 6 months. So they took a fair bit to sell, but not a crazy amount of time. Okay, so it turned out to be a good week because of that sofa sale. My total sales for the week were $2,425. Only $531 of that was sales on Poshmark though. So not a very good week for Poshmark. My total cost of goods was $286, and my total profit after fees, cost of goods, and any shipping discounts was $1,612.78. So for my stats this week, I took out that sofa because it would just totally skew everything in a really non-realistic way. So I sold a total of 11 items, 10 of those items on Poshmark. So my average sales price for my Poshmark sales was $53.10. I think that's just fine. My total cost, or my average cost of goods, was $3.60 per item. I think that's wonderful. And then my total profit per item was $38.55. I'm thrilled with those, you know, statistics. Anytime that I can have an average profit of over $25, I think that is a big time win. So, as I've been saying, I have not been listing like I should. I have just been really relying on my Posher VA to relist items, and that has been working well so far. But I have been buying and buying and not listing and listing, and I really need to do that. In fact, I was at an estate sale this morning, a really beautiful sale, and I wish I could have filmed a little bit in there, but it was a really cramped house, and there was too many other dealers there, and I just don't want to risk somebody finding out that I have a YouTube channel. I just want to keep it as secret locally as long as possible. And maybe no one cares, you know, maybe I am thinking too highly of myself that people would watch my videos. But, you know, I want to protect my business either way. So I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, for all your kind comments. Oh, shoot. So last week I asked for suggestions about what we should call fall and winter, since we had the summer of sales, and some of you made some really great suggestions, so thank you. And then I also personally had some fun ideas, but I wrote them down and I've forgotten to bring it. So hopefully I'll remember and we can talk more about that next week, because my husband came up with some cute ones too. But I think it's been really great to have that like mantra or motto or whatever you want to call it for myself, to remind myself to accept those offers and keep things going. So I'd like to continue that into fall and winter. If you think of any other ideas for fall or winter instead of summer of sales, I'd love to hear it in the comments down below, and I will see you guys all next week.